Now, based on what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
because I just got chills, because I'm like, that's a good vision to have. Based on that, describe yourself in 3 words, how it's attached to your story, and
Mm-hmm.
how your past is now your future, and then your future is going to be someone else's future. With your grandkids, your kids,
Right.
and beyond.
Right.
Describe yourself in 3 words
In 3 words.
and how that's attached to your story.
Okay. In 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
um, Positivity. Um,
Definitely can agree.
Positivity.
Mm-hmm.
I am so positive. I will see the positivity in everything. I don't care what you bring to me that's negative. I will find the positivity in that. Um, Accountable. I hold myself accountable. I know what I've been through, but I will never allow it to dictate my future. Like I won't allow it to dictate who I am right now, moving forward. And I also won't use that as a grudge or a crutch for why I can't. I'll never say I can't do because I went through this. And that's another, going back to one of the questions you asked earlier about leadership, that's one of the things that I really hold people accountable for. If you've ever had a conversation with me, if you're watching my videos, Instagram, whatever it is, if you've ever talked to me, you cannot ever say that you did not know. So you couldn't move forward. So the third one, um, three things.
Mm-hmm.
The third one. Um, I'm not really sure of a third one. Um, Positivity,
Accountable.
accountable.
I can tell you what the third one is.
Please.
You're balanced.
I was thinking of balance.
You are.
I was really thinking of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I honestly was.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because I will never give up the opportunity of knowing, like when I see myself, I remember seeing someone like me and saying things like, man, like that dude is amazing. Like I can feel his energy. I can feel his positivity. I can feel, all the things that he's saying. But for some reason, there's just this like I can't figure out exactly what it is that gets me to the levels that he's at. I see him and I know, like it inspires me to know that I can do exactly that. But for some reason, there's something that I can't, connect with that'll help me get there. I wish I can just reach out and have that conversation with him to see exactly what that is. So, and then on the other side, me looking at who I am now, looking back at who I was, I'm like, I got you. I 100% got you. You'll never have to worry about if you can reach out to me because you can. So yeah, I like that balance. Balance is definitely the next one because I balance between everything. I don't stray away from negativity, fear, all those things. I take challenges on head first, and I'm definitely someone who enjoys uh, being able to solve a problem. I love being able to figure out a solution. And again, most of the time, it just has to do with mentality. So I feel like I will never be a professional at mentality. I think that you will always learn so many new things about it. But I think that I figured out how to balance who I was with who I am and come up with something to really connect people, and again back to my purpose, be able to inspire them to be even better than me. I want people to be better than what I am. Like I feel like I've taken this and gone extremely far with it, but I've literally talked to people that I know can do this way better than I can, just off of the fact of being able to take my blueprint and go make theirs and be great in their own way.
That's awesome. You just created a new acronym. PAB. Positivity. Accountable. And balanced. Yeah. PAB.
Yeah, I like that.
You just created a new acronym.
Right, without even, yeah.
And that's all a part of Dale's Financial University.
Yes.
Now, with all of that,
Mm-hmm.
how is that attached to your story and how you arrived at who Dale is today?
Man, my story. My story. How I got here. This was not planned. You couldn't have paid me any amount of money 5 years ago to believe, even 10 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago. You couldn't have paid me to make me believe that this is what I would be doing. I even shocked myself a lot of times when I see the levels that I get to. Like, I was a truck driver 5 years ago. I was a truck driver, and it was something I loved to do. I didn't at first. I didn't want to do it, even though I have a background of it. My mom, she was a school bus driver. My grandfather, he drove 18 wheelers. So I have the background of driving big vehicles, at least in my genes and my veins. So, and plus, I was about 7 years old the first time that I drove a bus. So, you know,
we're gonna have to hear that story later.
Yes, all right. So I have it, and it was the first time, and it was natural. I whipped that thing like it was a rental, but so it was in my background, definitely. It's just what I thought life was. I figured that being a truck driver wasn't going to be it. So I ended up getting into an accident that cost me a high percentage of the strength in my left leg, about 60% of the strength in my left leg. So it stopped me from being able to get back into a truck because I didn't have the strength to push the clutch. So, I lost my license and so many other things, went through a case, lost my job, all kind of stuff. And that really, like, it put me in a very dark place, extremely dark place for a few years that I did not think I was going to get out of. Again, that's another thing that you could not have paid me to believe. I had to relearn how to walk. I was on crutches for an entire year. And, I thought I was never going to be able to walk again, be able to jog, run, do the things. I'm very athletic. My favorite sport is basketball, so I always play basketball. One of my favorite things to do is go swimming. I'm a shark in the water, so like to have been stopped mobily, it really took a toll on me because it never had been done before, where I was stopped mobily. So the journey that I went on, I needed to go on it, but it was extremely dark on so many different levels to where I didn't think I was coming out of it. So coming around to 2019, 2018, I wanted to uh, try to get back into trucking, however I could. One of my goals before I got injured was I wanted to own my own trucks, and I was on the road to do that. Literally, my next step, I was doing dry box. My next step, going cross country. The next thing I want to do was get into the oil, doing hazmat and things like that, transferring gasoline, to shells and things like that. So did a lot of, um, resumes and a lot of applications. So the day that I got injured was the exact same day that I got the call that I had got hired at one of the gas places that I was waiting on a call from. So in the hospital, not knowing what was going on with me, why I couldn't walk anymore, knowing that I had got that call, it destroyed me. It destroyed me to unthinkables because, again, I was a truck driver and I didn't want to be. My brother tried to convince me to do trucking for about 3 years, and I always said no. And then it just came to me, end up doing it. And then I'm doing it. I love it. I absolutely adore it. I start building my future into that. And then out of nowhere, boom, it gets completely taken away from me on the exact same day that I was going to elevate to a very next level. So it destroyed me for so long. So long. That's a whole other story that we will talk about. Like I said, this channel will be where, I open up about those things. And I know that story is going to help a lot of people who've been through that. But just understand that you're not supposed to allow the darkness to be your home. And that's exactly what I did. But I'm here to tell you that even if you're doing that now, understand that it's not the fact of, don't make it your home that is the problem. It's the comfortability of being in that darkness and ultimately believing that there is no sign of light anywhere. I'm telling you that there is, even if it's a smidget, there is a sign of light. You're just so comfortable with being in the dark that you've made it your home, and that's what I did. So fast forward into 2018, I wanted to get back into trucking somehow. What I ended up doing was I had the opportunity to go to college. I'm no way, shape, or form am I against people going to college and things like that, but school is just not something for me. I don't like it. To me, just me personally, I feel like it's a waste of my time because I had to do other things like math and science. There were so many other things that needed to be done in order to get to where I really want to go. And I felt there was just no need for that when I could, there's YouTube, there's libraries, there's encyclopedias. There's so many things that I can just study on my own to get to where I want to go instead of spending a lot of money doing things that I don't want I don't want to do anything, with. So, it was college. And for 6 months, I was trying to get into this college. And every time that I was supposed to sign some papers, another roadblock came in every time. So it was like, I don't really want to go here, roadblock. Okay, so is this telling me not to do it? No, I'll just keep going because I really want to get back into trucking. Okay, but I really don't want to do this, roadblock. So it kept doing that until 2019 when this was when they promised me everything was ready, everything was done. All you have to do is come sign the paperwork, come give us a deposit, get your books, like everything. So it's like, okay, awesome, this is great. It took 6 months, but fine, this is great. So I had in my agenda, I said, you know what? I know for a fact that on this date, I am going to start school. Like something's gonna happen. So I was on my way up there, and everything in my mind was just like, you're about to go sign papers to go to college, something that you don't want to do. Okay, is it really like, okay, but it's going to get you to where you want to get back into. Okay, all right, so let's do it. The entire time I was driving to Jacksonville from where I live, I was just doubting myself the entire time. Doubting the entire thing. Doubting going up there and signing those paperwork. When I got a call from my brother, My brother called me. He said, "Listen, I have a video I want you to watch. I know you," because he knew I was on my way to college. He knew everything I was going through. He's like, "Listen, I just want you to pull over real fast and watch this video." I'm like, "Pull over? Like I'm on the freeway. What do you mean pull over? Like I'm on the freeway heading like."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, just pull over and watch this video." I'm like, "Okay." So I pulled over and I literally watched maybe 15 seconds of that video. And I called him and said, "What in the world what did you just send me?"
Right.
Like we lived in California. We lived in Vegas. Like we know what this is. So
Right.
I immediately judged it off of the video, the first 15 seconds
Right.
before I actually gave it a chance. When in actuality, I was more or less trying to hold myself accountable for what it was I thought I really wanted to do, which was get back into trucking through the way that I thought was the only way I was going to get back to it, which was college. So, you know, I drove. I got back on the freeway, drove all the way to the college, got there, and boom, another roadblock. They had all kind of more stuff they wanted me to do. And I'm just like, you guys promised me that I had did everything. I've been doing this for 6 months. You know what? Like I was so furious. They told me, "Okay, listen, go sit in the lobby. You know, and we're gonna figure this out. Try to figure out how we can speed you in and get you in on the date that we promised you would get you in on." So I went and sat down in the lobby, and I'm furious because I'm like what, like I've been doing this. I don't want to do this, but I've been dedicated. I've been consistent. I haven't given up. Like what else am I supposed to be doing? So I'm sitting there and I'm angry and I'm just like, and I'm thinking of calling my brother. So I open up my phone and I'm in his text message and that video is right there. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing nothing else. Let me just watch the video.
Right.
So I watched the video. This time I watched the entirety of it. Literally the video was like maybe 3 minutes long.
Right.
I watched the entirety of it and my mind just started going like this. And I'm just like, it wasn't going like this. I'm like, "Oh, wow, this is amazing. Wait, hold on. And you can, wait, hold on." No, my mind was going because I'm like, okay, so I can either do this or I can go to college. And probably figure out, because remember, like I said in the very beginning, I said on this date, something is going to happen. I'm going to sign up for something.
Right.
So what ended up happening was, I'm pretty sure you guys all understand, I chose whatever my brother sent me. But I didn't sign up immediately. What I did was I started doing research on it, started looking into it. Basically what it was a video about credit. One of the mentors of the business, you know, he did a really nice video, but it wasn't to my taste. But again, the reason why I wanted to get into business because I did not want to go to college. That's literally why I started in this, and it took maybe 6 months before I realized that I had actually chose to do the one thing that was my calling. So
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so honestly, I got into this not because I wanted to. If you said the word FICO to me 5 years ago, I would think you were talking a foreign language because I didn't know nothing about FICO. I didn't know nothing about credit. I wasn't around people who talked about credit, knew anything about credit. Everything I bought was cash. Every car I bought, it was cash. I stayed away from anything that had to do with credit. I was the type of person who did that joke of, well, you got to staple that on my credit report because I was born with bad credit. Like, that was me. I was that person. So immediately, so even then, I didn't join because I'm like, oh, wow, I can help people with their credit or I can help myself with my credit. It literally came down to me like, okay, I'm not going to college. I said I'm going to start something. So, boom, I'm just going to do this. Did some research, found amazing mentor, Coach Legend. I saw it, and even though Coach Legend is amazing and he does a lot of things, you know, it wasn't a video of him with mansions and cars and things and money and all that. It was literally a video of him outside walking around in a coat where he was just talking to me. And it felt like he was talking to me. And I held on to that video and I watched it a lot. And then it got to the point where, like I said, it took me about 6 months to finally realize this was my calling. And I used that video of him walking to create who I am today.
Oh wow. So FES changed your life.
Absolutely. It changed everything about it. Everything about it. It changed everything. Literally everything. On top of that, today is November 14th, 2020.
Yes.
And it's also day 200 of my smoothie lifestyle. I've been doing this for 200 days. Basically, what it is that's all I pretty much do is smoothies in the morning, yogurt in the afternoon, and then honey bunches of oat cereal at night, cucumber water, and that's pretty much all that I do. And I've been doing it for 200 days. So basically, no meat. I'm not a vegetarian or anything. It's just I needed something to challenge me.
Yeah.
And again, this goes back to the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I needed something that was going to challenge me, something that was going to make me be great. Like it was going to force me to do something that I've never done before and hold myself accountable for it, not for anyone to clap at me, but for me to be like, okay, listen, you did that and you've never in your life done it before. So now there's no way you can tell me that you can't do this. So, I am so happy for finding FES or FES finding me, whichever way it went, and me given the opportunity to be in this because it has opened doors that I never thought about. Never thought of it. Like I said, I wanted to do trucking. I wanted to have my own trucks and things like that. But the way I was thinking, again, that comes down to that balance.
Yes.
The way I was thinking then, it would have been so hard to do what I was trying to do. Versus now, it's like, oh man, that's a cakewalk. I'll have that done in a couple of years. So it's a complete balance, and that comes right back to, how great it is. So yes, this opportunity has really changed my life, and it has guaranteed that every generation after me is going to be amazing.
So based on that, and you say FES found you, or you found FES.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how is it attached to your company name, Peaceful Balance Restored?
Right. So
let's talk about that.
Yes, my logo. Okay, so if you guys haven't realized it, I have my logo shirt on, Peaceful Balance Restored. As you can see, the mountains. Let me remove the beard out the way. I remove the beard for a second. The mountains is peaceful. This basically has to do with me myself. When I think of the best places for me to be, this is them: the water, the mountains, and the sun. Peace. I love looking at the mountains. We're here in Florida. There are no mountains. I definitely miss them. So I have people in California, places that send me pictures of the mountains, and I just watch them. But I can watch the mountains all day. So it's very dear to me. The sun. I did graveyard all of my life. Like graveyard was what I did. So anyone who's done graveyard knows that around 2:30 is the hardest time to do graveyard. And once that sun just peaks a little bit over that mountain, I immediately get that rejuvenated energy. And I really didn't know what it meant back then, but it always happened when that sun came over that mountain just a tad bit. I immediately got my second, third, fifth win, however many wins I needed. I got that. So, the sun is very dear to me because I love being in it. And then water. Anyone who follows me on Instagram knows that water is my absolute favorite, and it's the balance. It's the balance of me. It's understanding that every time you take a step forward, those waves are going to push you back. So you have to stay balanced with life, balanced with yourself. You have to restore your mentality. When you're a baby, Your mentality was, you were a daredevil. You didn't fear anything. You didn't have fears of anything. You weren't worried about, well, what if I fell down? Well, I'm just gonna get up and try it again, or what if, so to restore yourself, restore your mentality, restore your body back to its original and its best peak of itself. So this logo really is just me. It's literally just me, and it in the business, it came before I knew that I wanted to do what I'm doing right now as far as talking to things. I already had this name. I already had the name. I just didn't have the image. The image came after I understood that the name, even though it was three, it literally was three different segments that I can pull apart and I would piece together. Again, peaceful, balance, restored. Um, Peace is the one thing that I want more than anything else. Again, balance is life, and then restore is being able to restore your mentality.
That is so good. That is so good. Now, based on your slogan of peaceful, balance, restored,
Mm-hmm.
what do you consider as your weakness and how are you overcoming that weakness?
Uh, my weakness. My weakness is this right here. Like literally, it's this.
Yeah.
This was my weakness, and I haven't figured out, or it has not come to me yet with my new, or if I have any. I'm pretty sure I know I do. I'm not sure what it is, but honestly, what my weakness was is when I started this business. I didn't have Instagram. I did not have Instagram. I didn't have no social media.
Mm-hmm.
Last social media I had literally was MySpace. And that was back in like 2005, 2004 when MySpace was popping. I also had Tagged before that, which was like 2000. So I had Tagged, and I had MySpace, and then nothing else after that. So my weakness was taking pictures of myself. I didn't like it. I not that I didn't like it. It's just I guess you could say I didn't like it. Um, I was always behind the camera. I was always the one taking the pictures. There really aren't a lot of pictures of me out there outside of me being a baby, and then there's some of me, spread out when I was older, but not really a whole abundance of pictures of me out there. So my biggest weakness was pictures and Instagram, or just social media itself. Social media because I felt like social media could drain your mind. Like it can make you do and think things that are not of your normal life, that are not of normality of life. Like you will never be able to find a book that talks about your life or talks about life in general and how to. There is no how to book of life. There are, how to as far as mentality and as far as, things that happen in your life. But as far as you waking up and saying, okay, today is I'm 32 years old. Okay, I can go to page chapter 32 and then I can just start reading from there exactly what I need to do to make it to 33. There's no such thing as that. So I felt social media was something that I didn't like, and I had no interest in it. So it was even hard for me to get on social media when I finally jumped into this business because I'm like, yeah, I don't think I need that. I can just do face to face. I love talking to people. I can get on the phone and things like that. I don't need social media. So actually, it did take me a few days to get on there. But what ended up happening was not only did I face my fears and the weakness of not liking pictures, because if anyone can go on my Instagram right now, scroll all the way down. There's about 1,200 posts. Scroll all the way down, and you'll see the very first pictures that I took. They're all in black and white. Why? Like seriously, why are they in black and white? It was literally because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't like taking pictures, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna put this in color, black and white. So I went from knowing that that was my uncomfortability, and this goes all the way back to the leadership.
Yes.
Knowing that this is my uncomfortability, instead of me just doing pictures like everyone else was doing, I looked at all my mentors. I looked at everyone in my team, everyone, in the organization. What I realized was, hold on, no one is doing videos. Not no one. But my weakness is pictures. But I love to talk though. So what I did was I just hit my weakness head on. I said, okay, I'm doing videos, and here I am. A year and a half later, I'm doing YouTube now.
Yes,
So
yes.
again, my weakness, it was pictures and it was social media, but now I have put both of them into a sense of, now I'm disciplined enough to make them do what I need them to do for me, and not do what they regularly do to people who are undisciplined.